Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the HVAC Mergers and Acquisition Podcast. On this podcast, we're talking about how to prepare your HVAC business to get the best price and best terms, how to acquire HVAC companies, and how to merge HVAC companies together. So each of these episodes will be fairly short, but packed with content because we know how busy the lives of HVAC business owners can be. So today we're going to talk about negotiating the sale of your HVAC business. And granted, you could spend days reading books and learning about this topic, but I'm going to talk about an area of this negotiation that is so often overlooked, right? So if you just go into the conversation with the buyer around this one thing, it will make a huge difference, not only for you, but for the investor, right? And this thing is often looked, right? And it is going, here it is. Are you ready? It is going into the conversation knowing what you want, right? Knowing what you want for your business. This includes the price of the business and the terms of the business. What are you willing to negotiate, right? And not just going into the conversation completely without an agenda, right? So as far as the price of the business goes, kind of know where the market is, right? Know where the market is, know where the industry multiple is based on your profit, your team member, and your service contracts and everything about your business. Go into if you need to go get a valuation done in your business, right? So you go into the conversation with some information, right? And it'll do a couple of things. One, if you do have an investor that is trying to just really lowball you on the price, if you know that, right? You know the price is not accurate that they're offering you, right? And you also go into the conversation with realistic expectations as well, because you could end up missing out on a great opportunity just going in there with the wrong expectations, because the industry determines what the price is, right? And I'm not saying occasionally you can't find a buyer or an investor that's willing to pay above market value, but on average, the price is kind of set based on the industry and the economy, right? So next year, if the economy completely tanks, well, the value of your business is going to go down, right? Just like the stock market. And this is not investment advice. This is not tax advice. This is, just us having a conversation here, right? So go in there knowing what you want and have a little bit of flexibility, right? And, a lot of times, sellers may have a conversation with another HVAC company and say, well, Joe got this price for his business and these terms for his business, but the business is completely different, right? And it was sold at a completely different time, right? So right after the pandemic, HVAC companies were, believe it or not, selling a lot more for what they are today, right? So the values of HVAC companies do change over time. But when you go in there, when you go into that initial conversation, just know what you want. Know if you want to completely get out of the business or if you want to stay on for a while. Know what know the price that you want for the business. Know what you want to do after you sell the business, right? So kind of have that vision in mind, so you're not going in there blind, for lack of better words, right? So if you do, you could end up wasting a lot of your time because you're just unsure about things, and you could end up wasting the buyer's time because you're unsure about things. And it'll make things a lot difficult to come to an agreement if you go in not knowing exactly what you'd like to have, right? Not to say that there's not some benefit in just having conversations as well, right? But if you can go in there at least halfway knowing what you want, you'll be ahead of the game, because a lot of times it doesn't happen. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned for future episodes of the HVAC Mergers and Acquisition Podcast.